It's net time. 61 All-Star nodes are connected.
Good evening. This is the Look at This net, all about smart glasses. I'm your net control, Steve W0QA. This is a directed net. All traffic should come through net control. And if you are listening on the All-Star Bridge, just to learn what you can, that's cool. If you are connected via your A-Lady device, whether you're licensed or not, to learn, that's also. We'll first take some check-ins before I do some quick announcement. If you have an even number in your call, a 0, 2, 4, 6, or 8, and you have questions or comments, please give your call and do it phonetically, and hopefully I'll get them all down.
Good evening, Steve. This is Bob, Kilo 8 Lima Romeo, K8LR.
Good evening. This is W nothing. KJ4LQO. This is Peter.
All right, I picked up Bob, K8LR, and Peter, KJ4LQO. Any others with an even number, 0, 2, 4, 6, or 8? Call now.
Kilo 1 Juliet Tango, John in Canberra.
All right, I didn't catch that call. I don't believe you have a 0, 2, 4, 6, or 8 in your call, but say your call again.
Sorry, I mustn't have heard. It's Victor Kilo 1 Juliet Tango.
All right, K1JT, got you. All right, now if you have an odd number, 1, 3, 5, 7, or 9, a 1, 3, 5, 7, or 9 in your call, and you have questions or comments, please give your call phonetically.
Kilowatt Lima 3 Romeo Hotel.
All right, Riley, got you in. Thank you. All right, anybody, any number, if you have not checked in yet and you have questions or comments for the net, please call now. All right, it's a short list, but we are in competition with the technique, so that's probably why we're missing several people. All right, quick announcement. The net schedule. This net is moving to Wednesday night starting January 1st. There was, as far as I'm concerned, major confusion because I was told the Wednesday night net would continue through the end of the year, but then somebody changed their mind and it's gone. But I'm still staying with my original plan. Starting in the new year, this net will be on Wednesday, 8 Eastern, 7 p.m. Central. Now you can set reminders through your glasses. You can ask Meta to remember things and set reminders, and you can ask Meta to remind you about things that you need to know about. You'll be notified on your phone and through your glasses. You can say, HM, set a reminder, and then say what you want to set. You can ask it to describe areas. HM, look and describe what I'm seeing. HM, look and tell me what this menu said. You could say, HM, what's the weather? I'm not sure that's new, but it's on the list. HM, recommend a restaurant nearby. And the last one on the list is, HM, look and tell me what color of shoes go best with this outfit. So it looks like we're getting a few additional options for it to respond to, and that is a good thing. All right, we'll go through our list here and see what people have to ask about or comment on. Bob, K8LR, W0QA.
Good evening, Steve. This is K8LR. I just want to tell a short story. I thought my glasses were broke tonight, and I've already talked to Riley about this. I wanted to read my mail, and of course it had already been, I got my mail late this afternoon, so when I brought it in, it wouldn't read my mail. And in fact, it said that the display LED wasn't working, which is usually it'll tell me low light. But what it turned out to be was that I have an automatic light that comes on at sunset. Well, sometimes it doesn't work, and I have to do it manually. Well, tonight it didn't work. I didn't realize that for a few minutes. Once I turned my light on in the living room, everything was normal. Back to net. This is K8LR.
Yes, Bob, light is your friend. For the glasses, that is. All right, very good. Over to you, Peter, KJ4LQO, W0QA.
Kilo Juliet 4 Lima, Quebec, Oscar. Peter here in Florida. Hi, Steve. I have a question about being able to recognize money. I'm having a really difficult time having the thing. It's very, very totally inconsistent, and I've been playing with different workarounds, trying to identify the presidents on the bill and various things. Anybody out there got any suggestions how that can become more reliable? Over.
Okay, I must admit, I have not tried to do money. I use Seeing AI, and that seems to be what I'm using mostly. Well, to try money on the glass, I don't know. All right, anyone have a response for Peter on identification of money? Maybe it's counterfeit.
N1CA.
N1CA, W0QA. Go ahead, Julian.
Yeah, I have to say that money identifying is not the best thing here with these glasses. In fact, I had no idea that there was such a thing as $3 bills, $7 bills, until I tried identifying currency with this. And then, of course, when you push back and you say, "You sure about that?" Sometimes it will correct itself, and other times it'll double down and say, "Yep, that's what that is." So, at this point, I think of the AI options that exist that we, the blind low vision community, are playing with. I have to say that the Meta is not at the top of the heap in terms of accuracy or things like that. I find that it hallucinates a little more than others. So you have to know that when you're playing with this. And if it doesn't sound right, like when it tells you have a $3 or a $7 bill, you have to push back and say, "Are you sure?" or "No, that's wrong." And maybe eventually it'll learn to read currency. But at this time, I would rely on other forms, like what you mentioned, or others have mentioned. The Cash Reader app on iOS and on Android is an excellent app. It is a paid app, but it does the job quite well. The currency channel on Seeing AI is pretty good too. So at this point, I don't think the glasses replaces those apps, at least not for me. Back to Net Control N1CA.
Well, Julian, thank you very much. Well, many years ago, maybe 20 years ago, I did have some $3 bills and they had Bill Clinton's picture on them, so you know what those are worth. All right, Peter, any further questions or comments?
I've tried different tricks by asking it to identify the presidents, and it does that very well on Abraham Lincoln, Washington, and so on. But then it doesn't move on from there. It just seems to get stuck on the same president every time you look at another bill. I love them because going to a restaurant and going through the menu is flawless. Canned goods in your pantry, absolutely 100% accurate. But maybe they'll come up with a update or something to help us along on that. So that's about it. Thanks for commenting on it. So I'll just have to find another workaround. Kilo Juliet 4, Lima, Quebec, Oscar. I'll be listening.
Okay, Peter. Thank you very much. All right, K1JT, give me your name and what is your question or comment? Kilowatt 1, Juliet Tango. Go ahead with your question or comment. All right, we'll move on. Riley, up to you. KL3RH, W0QA.
KL3RH, good evening. Well, I've got a couple of weird things going on. The last 2 days, I'll go to bed at night, and my glasses will work, though, and of course they're in the case and everything. I wake up the next morning, they have no idea who I am. I have to go through the repairing thing, and I don't know. I love it. I think they're really cool for what they do, but that me is an absolute pain in the you-know-what. Another thing I've noticed is that I can be looking down the hall and ask it, what am I looking at? And it still tells me about TV in the living room. I'm a little confused how that works. Does it not refresh? I mean, and I've had that happen a few times, not just been once. It's been a few. Anyway, KL3RH.
Well, I don't have an answer. Anyone else have ideas for Riley? Go ahead.
Yeah, this is Kilo Juliet 4, Lima, Quebec, Oscar. I've run into the same thing, especially with the money thing, and I have tried asking the glasses to edit or delete the last photo or image that it took, and it says to me, deleting last image or what have you, but it doesn't seem to really delete it at all. So maybe that's something they'll work on. I'm hoping it's going to get better because I think it's a great product. Over.
All right, Peter, thank you. Any other comments for Riley on those issues he has mentioned?
N1CA.
Yeah, Julian, go ahead, N1CA, W0QA.
Yeah, I've heard Riley talking about this the last few days, and, I've been looking around the different forums and things like that, and I've not seen any references to that kind of thing where the glasses forgets the pairing and everything. So I would be tempted to think that maybe there's a problem with that hardware. They mass-produce these things, and it's inevitable that at some point somebody gets a lemon, because that sounds very unusual. It's one thing with the misidentifying money and hallucinating and things like that. Those are AI problems. But the forgetting of the pairing and all that stuff, it suggests to me that something in the glasses isn't working. Like maybe it's got memory in the glasses that's supposed to remember some info. Because when you turn them on, it does a handshake, so to speak, with your phone, and they recognize each other and connect, and away we go. But if it's forgetting the pairing, and you've had to do that more than once, especially, that almost to me sounds like a hardware issue. I could be wrong, but I think that's what I would do. Is at this point, because that's you shouldn't have to do that. That's crazy. Back to net control in 1CA.
Yeah, that's kind of a weird thing. I have not experienced that yet myself, but anyway, we'll have to keep our fingers crossed on that one. All right, any other check-in with questions or comments for our net this evening, please call W0QA. All right, well, we will have a net next Thursday, the 19th. There will not be a net on Christmas Day. That's a Wednesday. So there will be one on the 26th, which will be the last Thursday. Look at this net. And then starting on New Year's Day, Wednesday, January 1st, is when we'll move to Wednesday night. And then we won't have this conflict with the first Thursday of the month, the net, Tech Net, and then the Tech Zoom on the 2nd. All right, one more standby for questions or comments or check-ins. Please call W0QA.
W0QA in November 5, Lima, Mike Lee.
Well, N5 LML. Going brain dead. Is it Randy? Am I right? Go ahead.
Exactly right. You're not brain dead. Wanted to mention one thing that I have really liked. Now, this takes a little bit of practice, according to the radio that you have. But I've noticed on my Yaesu FT-DX10, it has given me the correct SWR. I had to learn, where the camera is and where you think it is. Sometimes confusing. Don't think of the camera being even with your nose, because it's over to the left, where the left temple is at front. And you may have to get some visual assistance to know where the S meter is. I happen to know that it was on the left-hand side of my display. So I put it on RTTY and put 10 watts into it and had it read it. And then I asked my wife, had her come back and read it, and it was exactly the same thing. And I've checked it out about 3 times, and it's been right every time. So, and I've not had to ask more than once. So your mileage may vary, but kind of a nice little addition, or something like that in 5 element.
All right, Randy, thank you very much. Cool story. Appreciate that. All right, anyone else to check in or with questions or comments for our net this evening, please call W0QA.
And 1CA with some info.
All right, Julian, go ahead.
Yeah, thanks, Steve. Yeah, this perhaps might be old news to some, but I just got notified of this today via the IRA app that they now support using GPS or having GPS access with the Meta glasses, which is a really good thing. I myself haven't tried it to see how it works, but I assume it'll work just like it always has. It's one of the nice things about the using an IRA agent is that they not only have access to what's being seen by your camera, but they can also access your location via the GPS receiver in your phone. And sometimes that could be very handy, especially when having them help you navigate a complex outdoor shopping center or something like that, where you need guidance getting to it. It helps them or to help you find a bus stop or things like that. So that was something that was not available if you were using the Meta glasses to connect to them via WhatsApp. But now apparently they are now able to do that. I remember a while back seeing that Meta had done something on their end to facilitate that kind of connection. So it's nice to see that IRA has it available. So anybody who uses that service with the Meta glasses, you might find that enhancement to be helpful. Back to you, N1CA.
All right, Julian. Thank you. That's cool. This is W0QA. Any other check-ins or comments for the for the net this evening? Call W0QA. All right. Well, like I say, we were in competition with the TechZoom meeting, and so I'm sure we lost some people, but I appreciate everyone checking in. If everything worked, I did record the net, so send that out as a podcast for those that missed it. And I appreciate everyone checking in. And again, we'll be here next Thursday, the 19th, 8 Eastern, 7 Central. 7-3, this is W0QA. That is it for this edition of the Look at This.